So recently I've been rewatching the Pokémon Journeys, and it is even more evident when you binge through just how badly some of these Pokémon got treated. We all know Pokémon Journeys was a bit of a mess when it came to character development, so today I just wanted to speak about a few specific Pokémon that got done completely dirty and just got forgotten about. So kicking us off, let's talk about Ash's Dracovish. What potential this Pokemon had. An absolute powerhouse fossil from Galar, Ash's very first fossil Pokemon. This mon was tearing up competitive at the time with its deadly vicious rend, so it was pretty damn hype when Ash took a trip over to Galar and managed to catch this thing. It also had a fun personality, being really dopey, and had great voice actors in both the original and in the dubbed. So this Pokemon is going to bring a lot of life to Journeys, right? Well, no. After Ash caught this Pokemon in episode 50, it didn't appear in a single episode again until episode 63, 13 whole episodes before its second appearance. Not even a background cameo. It literally felt like the capture episode was supposed to air later on. It felt like we were watching a series out of order. Literally, there's even times where Ash is training with all of his Pokemon in between, and Dracovish is literally not even there. It was just so odd. It eventually shows up again and gets a battle with Iris after basically no other screen time, and manages to take down her powerful Dragonite fairly easily. And this is just one example of many times this happens with Dracovish. It just doesn't do anything out of battle. It doesn't have enough moments to grow or develop as Ash's friend and partner. It feels a bit lifeless. Alright, it does eventually get some sort of training in episode 103, but that's episode 103. That's literally 50 episodes after its capture. It just wasn't enough. It was completely mishandled by the writers. But I did actually really enjoy these episodes as a standalone. The training with Sirfetch'd and Clement, and then the battle with Drasna, and creating this brotherly bond with Sirfetch'd. It was all really cool stuff, and I just wanted more of it. By the time the Masters 8 comes along, sure, it played a crucial role in winning Ash the World Championship, but the damage was already done. This Pokemon was nothing but a shell of a character with not enough development or screen time. Next onto the Pokemon on the thumbnail, it's Go's Grookey. Now, different to Dracovish, Grookey's problem was never screen time. I think it appeared quite a lot actually after Go caught it. It became some sort of mascot, a Pokemon Go would have on his shoulder for a lot of the episodes, but that's the problem. That's all it was. The Grookey line is way too important and cool just to have sitting there doing nothing. It was frustrating, but as time went on, it literally didn't have any major development. It was just there to be annoying with its wacky antics. Some people found it funny, and that's fair enough, but if you didn't really like its humour, then this Pokemon literally offered nothing for you. And to make things even worse, in episode 101, we get a great chance to develop Grookey, and maybe even have an evolution or anything. And instead, it feels like we spent most of this episode bonding with this wild Thwacky. It just felt like a massive waste of time when our own Grookey is in need of some much needed progression. And we still didn't really get anything. And that's really all there is to say about Grookey. It was there, it was around when Go needed it, but I don't know what the purpose of this Pokemon was. I guess it truly was just there to try and be cute and sell toys, because it didn't get any focus, and it just felt like a waste of time when it was all said and done. And the list isn't getting any better here, as next up we have James's Morpeko. Yes, just in case you forgot, James from Team Rocket actually captured a Morpeko in episode 70. Wait, but Bulbapedia is saying that Morpeko debuted all the way back in episode 28. But it took Team Rocket until episode 70 to actually catch the thing. Yep, this whole situation was just weird. It was crashing at their hideout, eating all their food. People were mad that Team Rocket weren't capturing any Pokemon in the series. We were missing them close bonds, and don't get me wrong, we had hints of this with James and Morpeko. I thought the capture episode was quite nicely done, but again, what did they do after this? I really can't think of one memorable moment after this capture. Just another Pokemon with zero development, no progression, just a gag of eating food all the time, and that was the problem. Just too many gag Pokemon that have no real purpose or actual character traits. They're just kind of there for the sake of it. I do think Team Rocket in general were mishandled pretty badly in Journeys, which obviously plays into why Morpeko was poorly treated. It's just a big disappointment. It had so much potential. And finally, I just want to touch on Chloe's Eevee, and all of this kind of relates to Chloe and her goal in general as well, as we spend a lot of time going around meeting all of these evolutions, learning more about what Chloe's Eevee wants to be, with a heavy focus on evolution. They were foreshadowing that there would be some kind of evolution by the end, or something big happening, but nothing really came of it. I wasn't entirely bothered that Eevee remained an Eevee, but it wasn't really what was set up, and there was no real payoff. We kind of got to the end and Chloe and Eevee were just happy with how they are, which is fine, but what was the lesson? What was the goal? Chloe herself didn't want to just be remembered as a Pokemon researcher like her father, but then she ends up becoming one anyway. Her own shtick was just confusing. She had a lot of potential, but like a lot of other things in Journeys, it was mishandled. I could probably go on more about a bunch of other mishandled Pokemon and ideas. Project Mew, Cinderace, Inteleon, all of Ash's Pokemon. There was just a lot of things that I wish were treated better and had better development, but the ones I mentioned definitely had it the worst. Let me know what you think was the most mishandled Pokemon in Journeys. What's your biggest disappointment? But that's it for this one. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.